Welcome back to United Peak, your number one spot for breaking updates, transfer chaos, and inside scoops from Old Trafford. Hit that subscribe button now so you never miss a moment of the Red Devils rollercoaster summer. Trust us, it's about to get wild. Let's start with the headline, grabbing the attention of every Manchester United fan right now. Manchester United have completed the high-profile signing of Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig, bringing an end to one of the summer's most talked-about transfer sagas. The 22-year-old Slovenian striker touched down in Manchester on Thursday evening, alongside his agent Elvis Bosanovic, with medical checks scheduled for Friday and a formal unveiling set for Saturday at Old Trafford. The deal sees United pay an initial €76.5 million, £66.26 million, plus a further €8.5 million, £7.36 million in performance-related add-ons, which are understood to be easily achievable, taking the total package to €85 million. Sesko has penned a contract until 2030, after making it clear earlier in the week that his preference was to join United, despite strong interest from Newcastle. His arrival represents United's third attacking signing of the window following Matthias Cunha and Brian Mbeumo, with the three forwards costing a combined £207.2 million. Sesko's signing raises fresh questions over the future of Rasmus Højlund, who joined from Atalanta last summer in a £72 million deal. The Danish striker insists he wants to stay and fight for his place, telling reporters competition is fine with me. It sharpens me. I'm feeling sharp and ready. I think it's good for the team. Despite his determination, United are in talks with AC Milan over a possible loan-to-buy deal worth around €51 million in total, including a €6 million loan fee. Højlund was notably left on the bench during Saturday's 1-1 friendly draw with Fiorentina, where manager Ruben Amorim opted to use Mason Mount as a false nine. Sources suggest the Dane is one of several players United are open to offloading before the window closes, alongside Jadon Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho, and Antony. Off the pitch, United's recruitment drive is far from over. Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba remains a long-term target, but the Seagulls are refusing to sell unless an offer exceeds the £115 million they received for Moises Caicedo last summer. That valuation would break United's transfer record and make the deal extremely difficult, especially with Brighton under no pressure to cash in. For now, all eyes will be on Sesko's grand unveiling this weekend. The Slovenian's blend of pace, aerial ability, and finishing prowess has the United faithful buzzing with anticipation, and his signing signals a clear statement of intent from a club eager to re-establish themselves at the top of English football. Alejandro Garnacho is pushing hard for a move to Chelsea, and the Blues want him too. The 21-year-old has already agreed personal terms with Stamford Bridge, but Manchester United are holding firm at a £50 million asking price. Ruben Amorim has grown tired of the winger's attitude, but will Chelsea meet United's demands? Or will Garnacho stay stuck in limbo while the transfer clock ticks down? Let's dive into the full story. Alejandro Garnacho wants Chelsea, and Chelsea want Alejandro Garnacho. But whether he's the next member of Manchester United's bomb squad to depart remains in question. Of the 5 players Ruben Amorim pushed away from United's first team this summer, was they expressed a desire to leave, only Barcelona loanee Marcus Rashford has gone. Garnacho, Antony, Tyrell Malaysia, and Jadon Sancho, ironically back in Manchester, after Chelsea decided to pay a fine to cancel their summer transfer obligation, all remain in situ. Argentina international Garnacho looks the man most likely to be next, through the exit door however. A regular under Ruben Amorim since his arrival, his talent isn't in question, but the Portuguese has had enough of his attitude and the drama that comes with the 21-year-old. I think with Garnacho, you can understand and you can see that he's talented. He's a really talented boy, Amorim said earlier in the summer. His post-match comments after only being a substitute in the Europa League final were the final straw, however. I have the feeling, and I think it's clear that Garnacho wants a different thing with a different leadership, and I can understand that, added Amorim. So I don't think it's a problem. Sometimes you adapt to one guy and you have the connection. Other times you want a new challenge. Chelsea believe that Garnacho, not taken on United's pre-season tour of the US, can shine for them in the Premier League. Garnacho believes that too. He is desperate to move to Stamford Bridge and has already agreed personal terms over a switch to West London. The question is whether Chelsea will meet United's £50 million price tag. That's considerably lower than the £80 million the Red Devils were asking for in January when Napoli came calling, but positions have changed. United are clearly no longer so keen to keep him, while Napoli instead moved on Noah Lang. Plus, United could do with bringing in some money, having spent over £200 million on their new-look attack of Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha and Benjamin Sesko. Chelsea are keen to get a deal done as soon as possible, but still want to pay less than that. United have so far insisted that's the price, take it or leave it. Thus, Garnacho continues to train in red away from United's first team rather than in blue as Chelsea's latest shiny new acquisition. Manchester United will have to break their club transfer record if they are to sign Brighton and Hove Albion midfielder Carlos Baleba this summer. The Red Devils have recently made contact with Brighton over a move for the highly rated 21-year-old who is widely regarded as one of the most talented young players in world football. Reports suggest United are in pole position to secure his signature, but Brighton have made it clear they are not willing to sell. According to The Athletic, the Seagulls would only consider a deal worth more than the £115 million they received from Chelsea for Moises Caicedo in 2023, a British record at the time, only recently surpassed by Liverpool's £116.5 million move for Florian Wirtz. Baleba, who joined Brighton from Lille in a £23 million deal 2 years ago, still has 3 years left on his contract, putting the South Coast club in a strong negotiating position. Brighton chief executive Paul Barber has publicly denied receiving any formal approach from Manchester United. There is always going to be interest in our players. Manchester United have not been in touch with me. Speculation is speculation, Barber said. Carlos is a fantastic talent, and we hope he will be here for years to come. But it's subject to the dynamics of the football world, which is not always predictable. Manager Ruben Amorim is reportedly keen to add a dynamic midfielder to his 3-4-3 system, with Manuel Ugarte struggling to impress since arriving from Paris Saint-Germain for £50 million last August. United fans have shown their desperation for reinforcements in creative ways, one supporter even launching a GoFundMe campaign to raise funds for Baleba's signing. Off the pitch, United's financial structure has been reshaped by co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who recently revealed that without his cost-cutting measures, the club would have run out of money by the end of 2025. Around 450 staff have been made redundant, perks have been cut, and ticket prices have risen as part of a push to redirect funds towards squad investment. This summer, United have already spent heavily, securing Matheus Cunha from Wolves for £62.5 million, Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford for £71 million, and Diego Leon from Cerro Porteño for £7 million. While midfield remains a priority, Manchester United are also closing in on the signing of Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig. The Slovenian striker is in Manchester undergoing his medical after United agreed a deal worth £66.3 million plus £7.3 million in performance-related add-ons. If all goes to plan, Sesko will be officially presented at Old Trafford later today. The 21-year-old is expected to sign a long-term deal, becoming the latest high-profile addition to United's attack. His imminent arrival raises further questions over Rasmus Højlund's future, with the Danish forward linked to AC Milan. It is understood United would consider offers in the region of £40 million for the player. Following Sesko's signing, attention could turn to other positions. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano reports that United are also considering goalkeeping reinforcements, with Antwerp's Senne Lammens remaining a name on their shortlist. The focus is now on a midfielder, Romano said. Goalkeeper can be a possibility. Lammens from Antwerp remains a name on the list. Manchester United's summer business is far from over, but the pursuit of Baleba looks set to be one of their most challenging negotiations yet. With Brighton holding all the cards, any potential deal would shatter transfer records and send another statement of intent from Old Trafford in elsewhere. Man United have expressed their willingness to allow striker Rasmus Højlund to leave the club on loan this window. However, according to Fabrizio Romano, the Dane is insisting on staying in Manchester and fighting for his place. Højlund has fallen down the pecking order in manager Ruben Amorim's plans, following an agreement for the arrival of Benjamin Sesko. The Red Devils have been in contact with AC Milan regarding a move, with United holding out for a loan fee of over £5 million on top of his wages in other news. Manchester United's transfer business could next turn to signing a midfielder after wrapping up a deal for Benjamin Sesko. The Red Devils have agreed to a £73.3 million deal with RB Leipzig to sign the striker and beaten Newcastle United to his signature. Sesko will become United's fourth signing of the summer and will join on a 5-year deal, with £66.3 million to be paid in an initial fee and the remainder available through add-ons. The 22-year-old arrived on Thursday evening with his medical expected to take place on Friday as the club finalised the move. United's spending rises to a possible £214 million, but their business may not be done yet. After replenishing their front line, a midfielder could next be on the agenda for the side. But sales could prove important if the club want to make a further significant outlay. United are still hoping to facilitate moves for the likes of Alejandro Garnacho, Antony, Jadon Sancho and Tyrell Malacia this summer. The group are not in Ruben Amorim's first team plans thus far, with the latter trio being loaned out last season and Garnacho falling out with the Portuguese coach. United hope to bring in fees for each to improve their profit and sustainability standing. For the moment, United continue to be linked to blockbuster transfers, however. One midfield target would appear to be Brighton star Carlos Baleba. United made contact with the Seagulls through intermediaries to register their interest in Baleba earlier this week. The 21-year-old was signed by Brighton in 2023 for £23.2 million. The South Coast side's demands could yet prove off-putting, however. A £104 million price tag is said to have been placed on the youngster, and United's task has been made no easier after it emerged that local rivals Manchester City also hold an interest. ESPN claimed that City's manager, Pep Guardiola, is a long-time admirer of Baleba. The Premier League star is said to be content to remain at Brighton for another season, with a big money move more likely in 12 months' time. No direct contact has been made for Baleba thus far. When asked about Baleba's future, Brighton chief executive Paul Barber told BBC Sussex, "We've got some great talent. There's always going to be interest in our players. Manchester United have not been in touch with me. So from that point of view, speculation is speculation. We will always try to make sure we sell our best players at the right time, not just for the player, but for us. If we end up doing that with any player, it's with the view to leave Fabian Hürzeler with a very competitive squad. Whatever happens, we don't want to sell our best players. Carlos is a fantastic talent who has a lot of years ahead of him. We hope he will be here for many years to come. But it's something that, as always, is subjective to the dynamics of the football world, which isn't always predictable."